I just publicly exposed my golden boy brother as a serial cheater at his own wedding. And honestly, I'd do it again. You ever wonder how long someone can take being treated like garbage before they finally snap? Well, I found out. My name's Ethan, and for as long as I can remember, I've been the family afterthought. If my older brother, Daniel, was the king, I was the dirt beneath his throne. My parents, my aunts, my uncles, even my grandparents, they all worshipped him. And me? I was the invisible one, the scapegoat, the disappointment. Daniel was the golden child. Handsome, successful, and engaged to this picture-perfect woman named Emily. He was the type of guy who'd flash you a smile in public, and then talk trash the second you turned your back. He got everything. New car at 16. College tuition fully paid while I had to take out loans. A high-paying job handed to him by one of my dad's buddies. And now, he was having the wedding of the century. And me? I was invited, sure, but not as a guest. A week before the wedding, my mom called. I knew something was up because she only ever called when she needed something. "Ethan, I assume you're coming to the wedding," she said, in that voice that just dripped with tolerance. "Yeah," I muttered. "Good. We need you to help out." I frowned. "Help out how?" "Oh, just small things," she said breezily. "Watching the kids, making sure everything runs smoothly, maybe helping in the kitchen if needed." I could feel my jaw clenching. "So you don't want me as a guest. You just want free labor." She actually scoffed, like I was being dramatic. "It's Daniel's big day, Ethan. The least you could do is pitch in. You're not doing anything important anyway." I bit my tongue so hard I tasted blood. Of course, I wasn't family. I was just the unpaid help. "Fine," I said through gritted teeth. "Good," she replied, not even noticing. "And please, don't embarrass us. Just stay out of the way and don't make a scene." That was it. That was the final straw. Because they had no idea. This wedding, the one where they expected me to be their errand boy, was about to become a day they would never, ever forget. For the next 2 days, I wasn't a guest. I was a servant. I was picking up dry cleaning, moving chairs, and babysitting while everyone else drank champagne. Daniel, of course, made it all worse, constantly throwing in little digs. "Careful with that. Ethan wouldn't want you screwing up my wedding, too. Man, you really look like you belong in the service industry." I wanted to strangle him. His fiancée, Emily, wasn't much better. She had this fake sweetness that just grated on me. At dinner the night before the wedding, she gave me this pitying smile. "Ethan, you must be so happy for Daniel. I bet it's inspiring." She then asked if I had a girlfriend. When I said no, she giggled. "Well, maybe someday. Daniel's always said you had trouble with confidence." Daniel just snickered. "He doesn't have trouble with confidence, babe. He just never had much going for him." The whole table laughed, and I just sat there, gripping my fork, feeling years of anger and humiliation boiling under my skin. They thought I was nothing. But tomorrow they were going to learn exactly who they'd been messing with. See, I knew something they didn't. I knew Daniel was cheating on Emily. I found out months ago by accident. I saw him at a bar, his arm wrapped around some blonde who was definitely not his fiancée. I didn't say anything. I just watched. And later, I did some digging. It wasn't just one woman. It was a whole rotation. He was so arrogant, so sure he'd never get caught. Because he was Daniel, the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. Emily had no idea she was about to marry a fraud. But she would. Soon. The day of the wedding was pure chaos. I was shoved into the background, as always, forced to wear a cheap, ill-fitting suit while Daniel strutted around in his custom tux. "Just be useful for once," my mom snapped at me. Relatives I hadn't seen in years were handing me tasks, telling me to stay out of the photos. The ceremony began. Daniel stood at the altar, grinning, while my parents beamed from the front row. And as Emily walked down the aisle, looking absolutely radiant, she had this look in her eyes like he was her entire world. I felt sick. This whole expensive, over-the-top wedding was built on a mountain of lies, and I was about to bring it all crashing down. During the reception, Daniel was holding court with his groomsmen, drink in hand, that smug grin plastered on his face. And I overheard him. "Man, I really dodged a bullet," he said, and his friends laughed. "Can you imagine if I actually married Anna?" My blood ran cold. Anna, the woman he'd been texting the night before. "Dude, you were seriously thinking about it?" one of his friends asked. Daniel just shrugged, for like half a second. "But come on, let's be real. Emily's the better deal. Her family's loaded, and she's so in love with me, she'd never suspect a thing." And that's when something inside me snapped. It wasn't just the cheating. It was the fact that he was so damn proud of it. Emily was just a few feet away, completely oblivious. My parents were laughing along with him, and I realized they all knew. They knew what a selfish, manipulative piece of garbage he was, and they didn't care. That was it. My dad got up to give a speech, gushing about his pride and joy, Daniel, about how he was a strong, hard-working, devoted man. I wanted to vomit. He gave me a brief, dismissive mention, and of course, we have Ethan, before turning all the attention back to Daniel. Daniel raised his glass to me, a condescending smirk on his face. "Thanks for coming, bro, really means a lot." He was baiting me. He wanted me to cause a scene, but I wasn't going to give him the satisfaction. Not yet. I waited until the speeches were almost over. Then I stood up. The sound of my chair scraping the floor was just loud enough to make a few heads turn. "I just want to say a few words," I announced, my voice eerily calm. Daniel leaned back, amused. My parents shot me a warning look. I turned to Emily. "Emily, you look absolutely stunning," I began. "And you're marrying Daniel, the man everyone says is loyal, devoted, and responsible." I let that hang in the air. But since we're here to celebrate honesty, I think it's only right that we all get to know the groom a little better. The mood shifted. Daniel's smile faltered. I took out my phone. "I just have one question," I said, looking at Emily. "Do you know a woman named Sophie?" Dead silence. Emily frowned, confused. Daniel's mask cracked. "Yeah, Sophie," I said, unlocking my phone. "She's someone very special to Daniel." I turned the screen toward Emily, showing her the messages. The screenshots. The photos. The color drained from her face. My mother gasped. People started whispering. "Go ahead," I said gently to Emily. "Read them." Her hands trembled as she took the phone. She scrolled, her eyes widening. Then she looked up at Daniel, her voice barely a whisper. "What is this?" Daniel shot to his feet, his voice shaking. "Ethan, what the hell is this? This is a joke, right?" "Oh no," I said, my voice sharp. "It's very real. Unlike the fairy tale you've been selling to Emily." I turned to the whole room. "You see, Daniel here isn't just a devoted fiancé. He's a cheating, lying piece of garbage." A collective gasp. Emily slammed the phone down. "How long?" she whispered, her voice cracking. "How long have you been cheating on me?" Daniel just stood there, his confidence gone. He hesitated, and that was enough. Emily let out a shaky breath. Then, without another word, she grabbed her bouquet, and she walked out. A stunned silence followed, and then, all at once, the wedding exploded into chaos. Emily's father nearly knocked Daniel out. My parents tried to blame me, but it was too late. The evidence was out. Emily called off the wedding that night and blocked him on everything. Her family made sure he paid for every single cent of that disaster. My family? They called me vindictive, cruel, a disgrace. But I didn't care. Daniel's perfect image was shattered. His reputation was destroyed. The golden child finally fell. And me? I just walked away. And I didn't look back.